Could Pokemon be killing itself? That's something that we should be discussing right here, right now, is could Pokemon be setting themselves up for failure in the future? And what does that mean for your Pokemon investments if that actually happens? So guys, if you're new here, hit that subscribe, hit that notify, and as always, hit that like button. We can get 100 likes on this video. And just to point something out, only 55% of you are hitting that subscribe button. So guys, if you do like the Pokemon TCG, if you like Pokemon investing, you like the market, and you also like to hear some conjecture or some ideas outside of the box, hit that subscribe button before you leave and join the channel. We're getting closer to 2,500 subscribers, in which place we'll be doing a fun little giveaway of some products to you guys to show you that I enjoy your company and to give you something back for supporting me for all this time. So be sure that you hit that subscribe button before you leave, and also hit that like button on the way out just to help out the channel. So guys, let's take a look at what's been going on in the Pokemon TCG since the whole boom that we had back in 2020. Has Pokemon slowly been getting to a point where they're kind of suffocating themselves on what they can do? And the reason I ask that is because we take a look at the Pokemon history and how the company itself has evolved through time. And with technologies, things change for what they can do with the printing technologies, what they can do for cards. So back in 1999, we had holos. Holos were a really big technology back then, guys. To put that holographic card, even Magic, to put a holographic card together and make a really good art representation of a Pokemon for the playability of these cards was a fantastic move forward, right? And now it seems like pretty basic technology that most people could do at home. And we do see people doing copies of this stuff at home. So we do know it's not too bad to do any longer. But overall, it was a technological feat back then to be able to do that. Now, if we move forward now in time, we have seen textured cards, shiny cards, gold cards, rainbow cards. We've got all kinds of different patterns, radiance, all kinds of different printing technologies have become available to these TCGs over time. Now, the one thing that I've been seeing in the Pokemon TCG, and this is just, once again, I'm spitballing and giving you my opinion on what I'm seeing as potential flaws in the Pokemon TCG that may eventually catch them, is the fact that how many more oohs and ahs can they get in people? And Pokemon used to be based on the meta, right? They had collectors and they had meta people that used to play. And then, of course, the collectors that collected the cards that were really cool looking, flashy, and nice to be on the shelf. And then we started getting investors more in 2016. Investability became another big thing. Like sports cards, people were starting to chase the potentials of what you could see for the market and these products. And now that we're into 2022, we actually have a market now. I mean, you can gauge how well the Pokemon itself is doing by watching the fluctuations in the market. And when you see up and down movements in pricing and you're seeing supply and demand, you have a market. So we are moving forward into a complete and total Pokemon environment or world or market of this actual item. So the question is that I have out there is that Pokemon has now kind of shifted to being this much on the meta side, the actual playability, and then this side has been gauged more to the collectability. So we're getting holiday sets and those kind of things that kind of drive that collectability and investment side of things, but more towards the collectability of the Pokemon TCG. At what point does Pokemon set themselves up for failure where they can't come up with a new idea fast enough to get that ooh and ah factor that they've been doing right now? And you look at what we've gone through even since 2020, we went from amazing rares and Vivid Voltage for like an ooh ah moment that they were in that hollow spot, but it wasn't a new idea because we had Prism Stars before that. So they had already been doing that before. They just revamped it a little bit, put some different flashy artwork in there, put some fan favorite Pokemon such as Rayquaza, Zamazenta Zacian going into Celebi and Raikou and all the other ones that they put inside of there. It really wasn't a huge, huge leap to go to amazing rares. Now, move forward into battle styles. What did they do? They released alternate arts, right? Alternate arts were Pokemon in their real situations, beautiful artwork, very, very talented artists creating this alternate art of a VMAX or a V card to put into a collector's aspect more than it was a playable aspect. And I know some people would say it's playable. Yes, it is playable. I 100% agree that card is playable. But I can tell you, even for most people that I play with, we don't play with alternate arts. They're a collector's item 100%, and it's not as much playability as it is that factor. because you can use just a standard V to do what the V alternate art does and keep that alternate art safe for its valued purposes. So we've seen Pokemon do that ooh-ah factor, right? We went, oh my goodness, look at these beautiful cards that we've got coming out with these alternate arts. And now we've been on the alternate art craze for over a year now since the release of Battle Styles in March of 2021. And now we had Celebrations UPC with the gold metal cards that were put out by Pokemon TCG. Another, these are fancy. Wow, these are beautiful cards to have. And I agree, they are beautiful cards to have. They are really an awesome addition to your collections. They're a really good addition to the Pokemon TCG. Once again, not a playable thing, more of a collector's thing. And as we now came into Brilliant Stars, what did we have next? Trainer galleries, right? We brought back the trainer galleries that were popular in Cosmic Eclipse and brought them into the Pokemon TCG again. So once again, we make that next leap, that next ooh-ah that draws in people because that trainer gallery is so nice and cool. And then we move forward into Pokemon Go. What was the next thing that we had? Radiant Pokemon, right? We had it in Astral Radiance and Pokemon Go. The Radiant collection began at that point, also in that rare position, or in that reverse rare position. So once again, you've got another ooh-ah factor that got people back in, like, oh yeah, we got to get these cards, Once again, Pokemon playing the people's emotions that they want the new thing, the new ooh-ah, the new fancy card sitting out there. How do we continue to do that? But the question I have is that they've put all of this in such a condensed area. Before, this was spread out over years. Sometimes it would take 2-3 years before they would make these big leaps. You know, we even look at what was happening in Sun and Moon when we first got Rainbow Rares and Gold cards. It was in the Sun and Moon era. And then we moved into Sword and Shield, and you finally got the Amazing Rares and the we actually got the alternate arts. Then you would have thought you would have seen in Scarlet and Violet maybe some of these other advancements like the trainer gallery and things like that. Pokemon has been condensing their time scale down to where the innovation is happening. At what point could Pokemon get to a point where they can't come up with anything new? At what point do they not find a way to get that ooh-ah factor and get people drawn back into it to where a set draws new people into it and gets that influx of people into it? And that's a concern. It really is. It's a concern that you really have to have, especially when it comes down to your investment in Pokemon, is as long as Pokemon is successful, your investments remain successful. The older your investment is, the more safe it is from Pokemon's failure. But the fact of the matter is that the closer you get to modern, the more that your success depends on the success of Pokemon itself. If Pokemon falters, your investments falter. If Pokemon's successful, your investments will continue to be successful. Because as long as Pokemon is successful, they will bring new people, they will drive your investments up, they will drive that market up, and they will make a niche for you to continue to move forward in profitability in the Pokemon TCG. If Pokemon runs into a stage and where they can't come up with anything new, we run into the end of EX, Diamond and Pearl, Black and White, Heart Gold, Soul Silver, where it's kind of the slump of Pokemon TCG, where they've run out of ways to come up with new ideas. Yes, they did Level X's. Was it a big hit? No, because a lot of us left and we really didn't come back until XY, Sun and Moon, Sword and Shield. So there was a long time period where a lot of people left. And there was this slump in the Pokemon TCG during those time periods on where investments, where cards, where values really didn't make movements for long periods of time. I mean, I'm talking 10, 15 years before you'd even see a booster box start to gain value. So once again, these are things that you need to be concerned about, and definitely know the company and understand the company and see where some of these faults may be for your investment in Pokemon or in the overall scheme of things. And definitely, this is one of the concerns that I'm looking at, is instead of them doing things every year or every generation or era, coming up with new ideas to build on, they seem to be really liking the selling and the sales that they're seeing and the ability to be able to move product by quickly jamming new things down people's throats. Like, here, shiny arm, shiny arm, shiny arm, shiny, go. And if you continue to move past that point, that's where we start to run into a point where you may see Pokemon go, I'm out. And then with this being a publicly traded company, that will actually hurt them in the long run when sales start to retract. When you start seeing sales start to slow down because they can't come up with new ideas to draw in people, then you're going to see Pokemon kind of fall into another slump again, where it may be 5-10 years before they find technology or an idea that'll push things forward. That is where you might see finally serialized cards come in. And I know I still talk about serialized cards because I don't completely put them out of the picture, because somehow Pokemon's got to continue to get revenue from people. And when they see a slowdown of sales, where people are not purchasing as much, where people are starting to back down on things, they will need to pull out the nuclear option. And the nuclear option is always going to be some crazy thing that may bring everybody around back into it, such as the scalpers, such as the collectors, such as all the flippers and everything else that we've been mad about in the last year. But let's be honest, it's sales. And that's what Pokemon at the end of the day needs. They need to show growth. They need to show positive sales, that they're actually continuing to expand and get bigger and have continued sales. And when that starts to slump, there's always that nuclear option chance that they may pull out serialized cards or something crazy in those line of things. So once again, guys, I hope that this is some good rant. This is some good conversation, good mind, good thought process in the comments below. Let me know what you think about it. Let me know if you think that Pokemon is on a good track and that they can continue to pull out different items and new things to draw people in, or do you think that they're eventually going to hit a point where they get into a slump, where they can't come up with new ideas, and maybe it's because there's not the technology out there yet to do it, or they don't have the availability to be able to do that yet. But let me know what you think in the comments. Other than that, if this was some good information or good food for thought to get your mind turning a little bit on possible faults in the company, hit that subscribe and hit that notify, and also hit that like button, guys. It's greatly appreciated. If you want to stay in here and continue to watch more information and fun rants and talk about the market, be sure you check out these two videos up over here. I'll put them up for you after this, and we will see you next time here on Northwoods TCG.